Timex brings the power of the computer within reach of more people than ever before. Introducing the Timex Sinclair 1000.
Hi everybody. So what we have here was an almost working Timex Sinclair 1000. I say almost working because it had issues prior to me getting to it. When I plugged it into my TV and I tried to use a VCR also, the screen was very, very, very dark and you can barely see the K cursor, but it was working. And when I opened it up, I realized that the keyboard was broken also. I didn't break that. That was already broken before I disconnected it. But my thought was, you know what? I'm smart. I'm going to go on the interwebs. I'm going to find out how to make a composite mod for this because obviously it's real simple. I downloaded the real simple manual and instructions on how to do it. I followed the instructions. I used AI to help me understand a couple things. But then I did that and I built it and it don't work. So I'm like, okay, yeah, this was a free computer, but this computer means something to me because this is the first computer, not this one in particular, but the Timex Sinclair 1000 was the first computer I ever owned. So I wanted to get it working, and I wanted to do some things with it. So I went on the eBays and I found one seller, J&M Consulting, and I bought a box of goodies from him. And I'm going to show you these things that he sells here: an EVO 64, which is nice. Is it? It's like the Ultimate 64, but different. And other things, a retro chip tester he sells. That's nice. His card. But what I bought, and he sent me some candies too, so I'll have to eat those later. What I bought was, what is this? I have no idea what that is. Maybe I'll figure it out. This right here is what I bought. A composite video. Over here, I'll put it over here where you can see. A composite video with back porch. Just so you know what back porch means is when a video signal is sent, there's at the end of the signal, there's a dropout in the signal which tells the TV or whatever, this is the end of the video signal to resync. No, I'm just saying that because that's what I read. I could be totally wrong. But anyways, the first video chips, the ULA for the ZX81s and the Timex Sinclair didn't have that. So this gives it to them. I'm really not sure what happens if you use this on one that does have it. I'm assuming it's just aight. And then I had to download the instructions, which are not very instructional. But really I just wanted it more for where do I stick things when I solder together. And then because I had the bad keyboard, I mean, I could do the old trim it back, make it fit, which I've done many a time in the past. But I got another keyboard from them at the same time. Ooh, hey, I got two keyboards. I just noticed that. Well, I got me an extra. Sweet. All right, so anyways, I got two keyboards. 1, 2. It's not perfect, though, because these are the UK keyboards for the ZX81, not for the Timex Sinclair 1000. How do you know the difference? Well, because on Timex Sinclair 1000, enter key is called enter. It's called new line in the UK. And the delete key is called delete. Over there, it's called rub out. I think that's the only two changes on here. They both come with the pound symbol. Don't know why. But I think that's the only two changes, because everything else on the keyboard has something to do with programming, and new line and rub out is just text terms. But I like the fact I got two. I got two of them. I got extras. Dual keyboard, anybody? So, anyways, this is going to be a multi-part video. This first part is just the introduction to my mistake. Look what I made. Was, if you notice, and this could be where I went wrong, I didn't have the exact resistor values, so I built up my resistor values by daisy chaining things, and quite possible that's why I broke stuff. I have no idea. It's possible. I mean, I'm pretty sure somebody could out there could look at this and say, yeah, that's what you did wrong, Millie. But I'm going to build this instead and put it inside the can here so I have a true composite out, hopefully. And then we get rid of the channel selector over here. And everything is socketed except for the memory. I did this before with another Timex Sinclair 1000, TS1000 for everybody who knows. Is I'm going to remove the 2K RAM chip. I'm going to put a socket in here because I can boost this 2K up to 16K or even 32K, though the first isn't accessible. But the other thing I want to do too is this is the ROM chip, and it's an 8K ROM. I want to put a 16K ROM in there because there's an area of memory between 8 and 16K where there's nothing. It's empty. It was actually left there for cartridges, cartridge support. You could plug a cartridge in and it would put a game in there. So when you just type in, I think it was, I think it would be print USR 8192 or something like that. Anyways, but it would jump to that. But I want to put another cartridge in, or another ROM in here, or maybe even a socket so I can put an EEPROM and play with it. Because I want to tinker. I want my Timex Sinclair 1000 to boot up and say, "Hi Millie, how you doing?" before it gives me the K-PROM, something like that. Yeah, I just want to mess with it. This was the computer that I started my whole computer career with, and I just want to have fun with it. So that's that. So this is part one. Part one is introducing you to the mess I made and hopefully how I'm going to fix it. And then part two, I will attempt to and hopefully repair the composite video so I can actually plug this into something and see it. And then we'll do it part three. Actually in part three, I will repair this keyboard just to show you how the trim works, and then I will actually remove it and put a new keyboard on it. And then part four, we'll remove this RAM chip out of a perfectly good working system, and we'll put a socket in there and then never have RAM again. Oh, I have to check and make sure I actually do have 32K RAM chips. But even if I remove this cleanly, which I probably won't be able to, so I'll probably have to trim the things off. Or remove it cleanly, I could reuse it, but we'll get there when we get there. So hopefully you'll come along on this little adventure of mine of repairing this. And if anything, it could be a laugh to watch me fail, or it could be exciting. Oh, and you know what? Okay, so I said part four might be an EEPROM plug. We can do a part five, and I'll show you what that is. This right here is a TI-99 4A keyboard. It's a mess. It's got to be cleaned up. The keys stick and stuff, so it's got to be pulled apart and clean. What is so you can see how the keys don't stick inside. I really got to clean this up and do some work. But what is so fascinating about the TI-99 keyboard is every one of the switches is on a PCB back here. And I did this 21 years ago. You can cut some traces and add some wiring and stuff like that. And when you get done, you can wire this up because it's basically, if you look, it has the same key layout. I mean, you drop a few keys, but it's basically the same key layout. But you can wire this up so that it hooks up to here, and you now have a full travel keyboard on your Timex Sinclair 1000. That could be a part five. Anyways, come along on this little adventure. Watch Millie screw things up. Laugh. I laugh. Laugh along with me. Have some more coffee because coffee is good. Have a great day. And I'm sorry you haven't seen my face, but I'm pointing the camera down here today. Have a good day.